Elon Musk was nervous. He was about to meet one of his childhood heroes, the legendary science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke. He had flown all the way to Sri Lanka, where Clarke lived, to interview him for a magazine. He had been a fan of Clarke since he was a boy, reading his novels and stories with awe and wonder. He had been especially inspired by Clarke's vision of space exploration and colonization, which had sparked his own interest in rockets and engineering. He had also admired Clarke's humanitarian work and advocacy for peace and science. He had learned that Clarke had donated most of his royalties from the film 2001, A Space Odyssey, to various charities and causes, including the Arthur C. Clarke Foundation, which promoted education and innovation. Musk hoped to learn from Clarke's wisdom and experience, and to thank him for his influence on his life and career. He had prepared a list of questions to ask him, ranging from his views on the future of humanity to his advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. He arrived at Clarke's home, a modest bungalow surrounded by tropical plants and flowers. He was greeted by Clarke's assistant, who led him to the living room, where Clarke was waiting for him. Clarke was in his late 80s, but still had a sharp mind and a twinkling eye. He was sitting in a wheelchair, hooked up to an oxygen tank. He had suffered from post-polio syndrome for decades, which had gradually weakened his muscles and lungs. He smiled warmly at Musk and shook his hand. "Welcome, Mr. Musk. I'm delighted to meet you." "Thank you, Mr. Clarke. I'm honored to be here. Please, call me Arthur. And you must be Elon." "Yes, sir." "Please, sit down. Would you like some tea?" "Sure, thank you." Clarke's assistant brought them some tea and biscuits, and then left them alone. "So, Elon, I understand you're here to interview me for Wired magazine." "That's right, sir. I'm a big fan of your work." "Thank you. I'm flattered. And I'm also impressed by your achievements. You've done some remarkable things with SpaceX and Tesla." "Thank you, sir. That means a lot coming from you." "Well, I'm glad to see someone who shares my passion for space and technology. You're doing what I dreamed of doing when I was young." "Really? How so?" "Well, when I was a teenager, I joined the British Interplanetary Society, a group of enthusiasts who wanted to build rockets and explore the solar system. We had grand plans and designs, but we lacked the resources and the support to make them happen." "What happened then?" "Well, I realized that writing about space was easier than going there. So I became a science fiction writer instead. But I never gave up on my dream of seeing humanity reach the stars. And you've inspired millions of people with your stories, sir. You've made a huge impact on the world." "Thank you, Elon. That's very kind of you to say. But I think you're doing something even more important. You're actually making it happen. You're building rockets and cars that can change the future." "I'm trying my best, sir. But it's not easy. There are many challenges and obstacles along the way." "I know. I've faced them too. But don't let them stop you. Don't let anyone tell you it can't be done. Don't let anyone limit your imagination or your ambition." "What do you mean?" "I mean that you have a rare gift, Elon. You have the vision and the courage to pursue your dreams, no matter how big or how crazy they seem. You have the ability and the determination to turn them into reality, no matter how hard or how risky they are. You have the spirit and the generosity to share them with others, no matter how much or how little they appreciate them. Wow! Thank you, sir. That's very inspiring. It's true, Elon. And I want you to know that I'm proud of you. And I'm grateful for what you're doing for humanity. Thank you, sir. That means more than you can imagine. You're welcome, Elon. And please don't call me sir anymore. Call me Arthur. Okay, Arthur. They smiled at each other. They spent the next hour talking about space and science fiction, about their hopes and fears for the future, about their joys and sorrows in life. They felt a bond of friendship and respect that transcended their age and background. They felt like mentor and mentee, like father and son, like brothers. They felt like kindred spirits with hearts full of gratitude towards each other.
Thank you for listening. For more stories like this, please consider subscribing. Thank you for listening. For more stories like this, please consider subscribing.